In the early years of the 20th century, as the world teetered on the brink of conflict, a young officer in the British Army, named Ernest Dunlop Swinton, was about to change the course of warfare forever. Born in 1868 in a quaint Scottish village, Ernest grew up with a spirit of adventure and a keen interest in mechanics. With tousled dark hair and a sturdy frame, he often wore a simple khaki uniform that bore the marks of his many outdoor pursuits, whether it was hiking the hills or inspecting military equipment. From a young age, Ernest was captivated by stories of engineering feats and military tactics. He spent countless hours poring over books on military history and mechanics, often seen in his father's study, which was filled with maps, engineering books, and models of artillery. His father, a retired Army officer, was a tall man with a stern demeanor, always dressed in a crisply ironed waistcoat and trousers that spoke to his meticulous nature. He instilled in Ernest a sense of duty and a deep understanding of the art of war. As Ernest grew older, he joined the Army and quickly distinguished himself as a promising young officer. He wore his uniform with pride, adorned with the insignia of his rank, and earned the respect of his peers. However, it was during his time in the Boer War that he began to witness the devastating effects of modern warfare, particularly the vulnerability of soldiers in the face of enemy fire. One fateful day, while observing a particularly intense battle, Ernest felt a pang of frustration. The soldiers were pinned down, unable to advance against the enemy's superior firepower. He watched as men were mowed down, their bravery overshadowed by the lethal efficiency of artillery. Clenching his fists, he thought, "There must be a way to protect our men, to give them a fighting chance." That night, as he returned to camp, Ernest jotted down his thoughts in a worn notebook, a trusty companion filled with sketches and ideas. He imagined a vehicle that could cross rough terrain, withstand enemy fire, and provide cover for soldiers advancing on the battlefield. The concept began to form in his mind: a tank, a machine that could change the nature of warfare. Over the next few weeks, Ernest delved deeper into his idea. He envisioned a large, armored vehicle that could traverse trenches and rough landscapes, its tracks allowing it to navigate terrain that was otherwise impassable. In 1914, as tensions escalated in Europe, Ernest's ideas took on new urgency. He presented his concept to his superiors, describing the need for an armored vehicle that could provide a mobile platform for infantry and artillery support. "Gentlemen, we must adapt our tactics if we are to succeed in this new kind of warfare," Ernest argued passionately. "A machine that can withstand fire and cross trenches will provide the cover our soldiers desperately need." The officers listened intently, some leaning forward, intrigued by his vision. Others exchanged skeptical glances. "But how can we build such a thing?" one officer asked. "It sounds impossible." Undeterred, Ernest explained his designs in detail, emphasizing the importance of mobility and protection. After much discussion, he secured a small amount of funding to begin developing a prototype.